All right, let's solve this rational inequality. So don't forget, when you have an inequality, this is when you're going to graph your solutions on a number line, and you're going to need to find what are your critical values to graph on the number line. Then we'll do some test values and see where the solutions are. The critical values come from two places. For one thing, we're going to solve the related equation that you get by replacing the inequality symbol with an equal sign. So we'll solve this, and those solutions will go on the number line. But also, any excluded values also go on the number line. So, for example, let's see, excluded values. Guess I don't need to put EV in front of it because it'll be obvious. If you factor this x squared minus 9, of course you get x plus 3 times x minus 3. So excluded values are x cannot equal negative 3 from the positive 3, and x cannot equal positive 3 because of the x minus 3. So these two excluded values will go on the number line. So we know that right from the start. Okay, to get additional values for the number line, we will solve this equation. So you need like denominators. So normally I would factor this, but it's just not going to be necessary. So I'm just going to give this a denominator of x squared minus 9. I can do that as long as I put x squared minus 9 in the numerator as well. Now these denominators are going to cancel each other out. So my new equation is x squared plus 2x equals, now 0 times anything is just 0. So I just need to solve this equation and get some additional values for my number line. The way you solve this is by factoring out the GCF. So that's going to leave x plus 2. If I set each of these equal to 0, then right away I have x equals 0, and here I have x equals negative 2. So these values will also go on the number line. Okay, so let's see, we have 0 and negative 2. Okay, so these are the 4 values that are going to go on my number line. Okay, so now I'm going to make a little bit more space because this is a lot of numbers to go on the number line. So here we go, 4 values on my number lines, big old number line. So let me try to put these in order. So let's see, I have negative 3, and I have negative 2, and I have 0, and I have positive 3. Now, the excluded values are always open circles. Okay? Always open. Now, let's plot these critical values on this number line as dots, but be careful. Excluded values are always open circles. They're excluded. They can never be included. So excluded values, of course, will be open circles because that's what an open circle means, not included. So we're going to put an open circle at negative 3 and an open circle at positive 3. Okay, now the solutions to the equation, you know, the zeros of the function, sometimes are open and sometimes are closed circles, depending on whether or not we're dealing with a less than or equal to, or whether it's just less than. If we have the or equal to, we're going to make these closed circles because these are the points where the function is equal to 0. And we want to include the values where the function is less than or equal to 0. so we'll make them closed. Anyway, so now we have all these little zones that we need to test out. So in this zone to the far left, I'm going to use a test value of -4. In between -3 and -2, I will do -2.5. All right, I'm going to had to use a decimal because it's between two integers. Now, between -2 and 0 is -1, so I can just use that. Between 0 and 3, I could either use 1 or 2, doesn't really matter. I'll just go ahead and use 1. And to the right of 3, I will go ahead and use 4. So I'm going to do these 5 test values, and in each case I'm going to see where is the function less than or equal to 0. Alright, so really just less than 0 because the dots themselves are where the function is equal to 0. So, my friends, I'm going to definitely use my calculator to help a brother out. So, you know, watch me work. So I'll hit the table feature. Let's see. Can I just clear this out? Yeah, so here I go. I've got x squared plus 2x over x squared minus 9. So there it is. Okay, I'm just going to delete the values that are here from a previous problem. So here I've typed the equation into my calculator, and I'm going to make sure my calculator is in ask mode, ask X. So first 3 values I need to check are -4, -2.5, -1. So I'll do -4, -2.5, -1. Okay, so I need to write this down. So I have 8/7. Alright, so I've got 8/7, and I've got -5/11, and I've got 1/8. Alright, I'll come back to that. Now I also need to check 1 and 4. Okay, that's -3/8 and 24/7. Now remember, in each case I'm trying to ask myself, is the function less than or equal to 0? So is this less than or equal to 0? Is this less than or equal to 0? And so on and so on. Okay, so let's see. No, this is not less than 0. This is positive. This is negative, so yes, that is less than 0. This is positive, so no, that's not less than 0. This is negative, so yes, that is less than 0. This is positive, so no, that is not less than 0. So everywhere you see a yes, that means this is a solution. So that tells me that all of these points between -3 and -2 are solutions. Okay, so I show my solutions that way. These areas where it says no, that means this is not a solution, so I'm going to leave those blank. But here's another yes, so that's going to go like this. Alright, and then a no. So this is a graph of my solution set. So all I need to do now is write my answer in interval notation. So from -3 to 2, so I'm going to wind up putting -3 to -2, so that's -3 comma -2. But it's going to be round and then square bracket because of open circle, close circle. Not included, included. Then union bracket 0 to 3. All right, so this is the solution set in interval notation. All right, and that's how it's done.